here's my thing on reps. Like, I don't know that like what their involvement is in the decision-making process of you moving forward as a candidate. So like, I try to obviously be like cordial with those people. My main purpose in talking to reps is for me to understand like what I'm walking into. So some of those conversations are a little selfish. I always try to like, start by, fluffing their feathers a little and saying like, hey, your leader told me you're a really strong performer. So that's why they have you as part of the interview process. So I'm really excited to hear about your experience, about your day-to-day. Obviously, if you have an agenda for this, I'm happy to walk through that or anything you specifically want to share. And then otherwise, I have a number of questions that I wanted to ask you. And then, so like, give them the chance if they do have some kind of agenda. But again, I feel like the purpose of that is for you to get to know the job. So then from there, I'm usually asking questions about the deal cycle, like how long, like, I think it's fair to ask questions like, how long is your average deal cycle? I know, and I'll say this, I'll say like, I know they mentioned to me it's 6 months. Do you think that's accurate? Or do you feel like it's usually bleeds into like 8 to 10? Or do you feel like it's shorter? Is it just, kind of all over the place? And then like, let them answer that. And then I'll go into the objection piece. I think is really helpful. Like, what are you commonly hearing? Like, if people aren't saying yes, or from like the account manager side, if you're not seeing like upsells, what do you think the main reason is? Like, is there a reason that companies like wouldn't want to repurchase us for another 3 years? Or what are some of the reasons that happens? If you have clients that are churn, like you could ask about like, what are indicators of churn risk for you? Like, are there ways that you can look at customer health scores? How would you determine if a client is in the red and you really need to make sure they're good? And then even from there, I would say too, if you do identify that there's a poor client health score, then from there, what do you do with that information? Like, do you then set up a call right away? Or like, what's your process for mitigating a potential churn risk client? So I think I would ask more questions around that. And then maybe questions around like team dynamic, and definitely questions about the manager. Like, hey, I've talked to the VP of sales, I've talked to your sales manager, I've kind of gotten a sense for their personalities. Maybe you throw something in, like one seems very numbers driven and metrics focused. The other one seems, very focused on team dynamic and culture. What is your feel for working with both of these people or with the direct sales manager? Because that's who I would potentially be reporting to. So can you give me an idea of what it's like to report to them, and, the good, the bad, anything you're willing to share? And you will get very honest feedback. Like I've had ones, they're like, he's super micromanaging. I'm just letting you know right now, so you're aware of that walking into this role. But that's to help you so you can steer clear. If there's something that you're not going to be cool with, or something that's like a hard no for you, then you can avoid that.